Hello, my name is Jacob Weiss, and I'm a junior neuroscience major here at Pomona College, and this is my interview for the PCIP application. The company I'll be working for over the summer is called Translucence Biosystems. It's a biotech startup based out of Southern California that focuses mostly on clear whole brain imaging. Essentially what they do is they take whole mouse brains, have them undergo a variety of chemical processes that render them transparent or perhaps translucent, and then from there these brains are mounted onto Zeiss light microscopes and imaged. Interestingly enough, the traditional mounts that come with these Zeiss light microscopes are not optimized for this process. To get around this, Translucence Biosystems started to make their own mounts that were more suited to this type of whole brain imaging. Zeiss liked the mounts so much that now, in order to generate extra revenue, Translucence sells the mounts through Zeiss. But it's not just a microscope part company. Where Translucence Biosystems really shines is in the aforementioned imaging. As of now, they stain mostly for two biomarkers. The first one being NPAS4, which stands for neuronal pass domain protein 4, which is mostly implicated in the distribution of inhibitory synapses onto certain neurons, as well as the proto-oncogene CFOS, which is expressed in neurons in response to a variety of stimuli. As someone who's planning on pursuing an MD PhD following my time at Pomona, this internship would be indispensable for me. Working more on my immunohistochemistry, as well as learning the computer science side of things with computational biology and machine learning workflows that I have no experience with, it would make me a much more well-rounded applicant, and I feel that this experience would be immensely useful for my career path. I initially heard about it, interestingly enough, from Nate Guanzon, a former student at Pomona College and a former teammate of mine. He was 2 years my senior, and as a freshman and sophomore, I spent most of my time on the field backing him up. He was first string right tackle, and I was technically second string right tackle. But beyond that, Nate was also a neuroscience major, much like myself, and when it came to needing help with organic chemistry problem sets or needing an extra set of eyes to look over my lab reports, Nate was always the first person I would call. As such, he saw me grow a lot from freshman to sophomore and even to now since we stayed in touch. And he thought of me when he was thinking about the internship. See, Nate Guanzon took a position at Translucence Biosystems during his senior year of college and now has been working with them for almost 2.5 years. Now that they're expanding and have room for internships, he said that I was the first person he thought of. All I had to do was send my resume to Damian Wheeler, the CEO, and then we had a very lengthy talk where we discussed the science behind it all, what they do at Translucence Biosystems, and he liked me enough, and I certainly liked him, and I was offered the internship. So far, to explore my career interests, I have worked in a variety of labs and on a variety of projects, mostly at UCSF, as I spend most of my time in San Francisco. The last 3 years, I've been mostly in the lab of Davide Ruggiero at UCSF, which is a lab that's focused on translation control. In this lab last summer, I had an incredible opportunity to work on a project regarding synthetic lethality. I could go into exactly what synthetic lethality is, but essentially it's the next generation of cancer research, and it's incredibly interesting. But beyond that, this past winter, I was working in the lab of an epidemiologist, Dan Kelly, at UCSF. On this project, I was much more hands-on. Most of my time in lab work has been spent doing bench work. But now, on this COVID project, I was doing in-person visits, going to the houses of patients who actively had coronavirus, taking biological samples such as blood, tear, and saliva, such that we could track the changes in infectiousness, viral shedding, as the virus progressed. This was a really remarkable experience for me, switching from being in lab to being in the field, talking to people, getting patient interaction, and working on the other sides of what goes into these larger projects. Both of these experiences, both those in lab and in the field, have been absolutely indispensable to me, and I feel have made me a very good applicant already for many MD programs. A typical day at this startup will be filled with meetings and then a lot of time with me sitting down looking at a computer, as again, it's all remote. Twice a week, I'll be meeting with Damian, the CEO, Ricardo, the CTO, as well as Nate Guanzon and Chase Red, another former Pomona student and project leader at Translucence Biosystems. In these twice weekly meetings, we'll mostly be talking about pertinent science, what's been going on in the world of science that week that is relevant to our projects. Past that, on one-on-one meetings with Chase and Nate, I'll be talking more about action items. My day-to-day will be filled with building machine learning workflows, project management, data analysis, and even learning computational biology, many of which are new frontiers for me that I'm very much so looking forward to learning. As far as how I plan on giving back to the donors, the alumni, families, and friends, etc., who would make this program possible, I am absolutely and intending on giving a poster presentation to those alumni and friends and family, as I know is tradition with PCIP. And past that, once I'm out and making my own money, I plan on reinvesting back into this program. I feel like it's incredibly important, and the fact that it allows people like me to go after unpaid internships without worrying about having to make money or pay for housing or anything along the lines of that is indispensable, even though it will be remote this summer. And as far as additional information, I feel like I've told you all that you need to know, and I hope you seriously consider me for this program.